Kind of like the Jehovah Witness of the One Piece community. I'm going to keep coming back to your door until you watch it, and then you're indoctrinated. So you can't get out. It's kind of like a cult, but you enjoy it.
Welcome back to the Anime Feast. It has been a long time, but the boys are back. The boys in green, black, and green again.
In a lighter green.
Man, feels good to sit back down and just have this time to talk with the guys about one of our passions, anime, manga. You know, all that good stuff that we read, watch, and just dive into on a very consistent basis. But before I keep chatting about that nonsense, let's do our actual introductions. So guys, we're going to introduce ourselves and one anime that you would recommend somebody watch. I'll start. I'm Dom, or Athletic Geek. Been a big anime guy for a little decade and a half now, give or take.
You're an old man now.
Yeah, I mean, like as a kid, obviously, just like Dragon Ball Z and stuff. We know what we grew up watching. And I think I really dove into it in college, mostly with One Piece, because Ginta was making me watch it. He was like, "You got nothing but time." It was, I think, at that point, it was like 700 episodes. It was way too many. But no, I think it was like 500, which I thought was way too many. But like he said, I mean, I had time, so I got into it. And caught up, loved it. Zoro on my shirt, best anime character out there. But an anime that I would recommend people watch, man, I'm gonna actually go a little funnier here and say there's an anime called I was scared of getting hit, so I put all my stats in defense. And it's about it's another one of those like video game-esque animes where, like, you know, you put your headset on, you go into the video game world, and the main character, it's a young girl, and her friend got her to play the game, and she gave herself the name Maple. And the one thing that she was terrified about when she got like the attributes page where you can put all your points in, she was like, I don't want to get hurt. I'm scared of being hit. I'm scared of being hurt. So I want to put all my stats in defense so that I can't really be hit and be hurt. And that led to her being overpowered as shit, which is the typical trope. But fantastic anime, in my opinion. I haven't read the manga, so I probably should do that to catch up. But to me, it's hilarious. She gets all these little additional power-ups that the devs of the game were like, how the hell did you get there? How this happened? But it's just because, simply put, she put all her stats in defense, got a big-ass shield, and because of those things, she now has all these crazy abilities. So,
That's cool. Yeah, I guess I'll go next. My name is Matt, or BL Sanji, BL Sanji 4, BL Sanji 44, all the above, all the above. Yeah, no, I can say, once again, Twan, who is going to go last, but at the same time, he got me back into anime. Not with One Piece, but I finally watched Death Note, which is, I guess, the one I recommend for people to get back into it. Or because a lot of people talk about anime and it's like a bunch of battle manga and everything, like it's a bunch of fighting. But for Death Note, it's more psychological. It's guy gets a book who he writes it down, what name. He doesn't do blood type, right? Or is it blood? I can't remember. It's been a while for Death Note.
Just name.
It's just a name, and then what is it? 5 minutes or 30 seconds? I think it's 5 minutes. 5 minutes later, yeah. 5 minutes later, they die of at least a heart attack, and then he plays around with it to see what other things he can do. He starts getting investigated without going too far into it, because once again, I think it's a perfect gateway anime just to start off again. But if you want to watch something more recent, Soul Leveling, just first episode goes kind of crazy. It's like a couple of the like I think shows now, they definitely get more into like the first episode gets you hooked and you just want to keep on watching it. Because Promised Neverland was like that, Soul Leveling, Jujutsu Kaisen, just really good, strong opening shows, and those are all really good series. Promised Neverland, we can talk about a different time for the anime, but just season 1's fine. Season 1's good, but everything else we have talked past in the past about it. So, but those are some of the ones I like to start off with. Something that gets your attention right away. Even we can throw Attack on Titan on there too.
Absolutely, yeah. I think in the future podcast we will have a fantastic conversation around Solo Leveling for sure.
I still have to watch Solo Leveling. I've listened to it, but still need to watch/read it.
Really quick, Apollo in my stream was like, he agrees about Promised Neverland, but season 2 is rough. Yeah. We don't talk about season 2. Season 2 never happened.
We just read the manga. I didn't even know season 2 existed.
Yeah, they skipped watch everything.
No, I knew it existed. I was just.
I know, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Cool. That's it.
All right. Well, I'm Ginta or Tuan or Chaos Lord. If you're playing games with me, it'll probably be Chaos Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Anime I recommend is One Piece. It fills every need that anyone ever has. As you can see, I've gotten them into One Piece. I am kind of like the Jehovah Witness of the One Piece community. I'm going to keep coming back to your door until you watch it, and then you're indoctrinated. So you can't get out. It's kind of like a cult, but you enjoy it.
That's actually hilarious.
But in all actuality, it is honestly just my favorite show. I have a law tattoo. Cannot see.
I was like, "Where's it?" showing an arm.
But
I got a tattoo right here. You know. Oh.
And I've also just recently went back and started watching the anime again because I fell off, and I joined back in at Whole Cake, and within 2 months I'm caught up at Egghead, which is roughly probably 300 episodes. But honestly, there's not an episode that disappoints. Very little filler as far as a longer anime goes. You're gonna get so much world building, gosh, so much insight, so much relation to the real world. So you're gonna laugh a lot, you're gonna cry a lot, you're gonna just enjoy your whole experience watching One Piece. I couldn't recommend a better show. I even got my wife into it recently, and she's 300 or 400 episodes in now, and she didn't even watch anime before. So
yeah. It's a lot of episodes, but again, you can watch it at your own pace. No one's gonna force you to watch 30 episodes a day. Like, take the time you need. If it takes you 4 years to catch up, it takes you 4 years to catch up. But it's just
it's all about the journey. It's not the destination.
Yep.
And literally, it's the show, the journey, not the destination.
And with the new remake coming out too.
Yeah, but I'm sure you've seen the fights and everything online of like how quality the animation has gotten. So it's top tier.
You got the live action. If you don't want to if you're like, I'm unsure, you can start with the live action, see if you like the general theme, the general plot, and you can go into the episodes. Like Binta said, they're making the remake soon. You'll have shortened plots, shortened arcs, so more just to the point.
And more episodes going forward are just going to be one episode per chapter. So
yeah,
like I said, little filler. Oda has his writing down to a science, and honestly, going back and rewatching, I can like express how good it honestly feels to like see the foresight,
the foreshadowing.
That's what it is. Mind fart this morning, but the foreshadowing of like little details that you see come back up like 300 or 400 episodes later. So it all ties in, and it's not anything that you have to really pay attention to, but it's nice when you see like, oh, they did mention that like way, way, way back when the journey started, and it's now coming to fruition, or something's coming about. So don't worry too much about the details. Just enjoy the journey and have fun while you're going.
Well, perfect, fellas. With that kind of will lead us into our next little branch of conversation here, and that is just an anime that you are currently watching. Hype us up a little bit about it. Maybe think of one that the other two haven't seen, or maybe we've seen some of it, not all of it, but it's something that you're currently watching that you're like, you guys might like this, and express a little bit as to why we might like it.
Okay. I got like 3 actually on top of my head. Well, I'm rewatching Fairy Tail while I'm working, which the first couple, I mean, we've all seen it, so that's why the first like 10 episodes are rough, but when you finally met Gajeel, stuff gets real quick actually with the giant mecha, the Phantom, not Phantom Troop, but they might be called, they're Phantom something. I don't think they're Phantom Troop. They might be Phantom Troop though as well, but when they like build the big mecha to destroy the Fairy Tail Guild, it's
because he was actually part of a whole nother guild.
Mm-hmm.
And because Juvia was in that guild too, wasn't she?
Yep.
And until that's when she fell in love with Gray.
Always
that fight scene was so funny. I highly recommend going back and watching that.
Fairy Tail was such a good show. That might be the next tattoo, Fairy Tail.
Mm-hmm. So that one I'm currently watching while working because I've seen it before. I'm just like, oh, I remember that now. It's been a while. And also because I think when I dropped off Fairy Tail before reading it, it was right before like the ending. So I'm going to be very excited when I get to the very end to actually see it actually all play out. I think
is that what the new anime is about? The Fairy Tail 100?
No, that's the one I was going to recommend to just get your Fairy Tail fix. The 1,000 years, quest, yeah, or 100 years quest, and it's good. It just calls back a lot of stuff right now. I mean, it has a bunch of the same anime tropes, pretty much, but at the same time, highly recommended. It's kind of interesting of how they set up the 100 years quest. I mean, they explain it in like the either first or second episode, but definitely recommend it if you haven't seen it yet. And then I think a couple of us are watching Tower of God season 2.
Yeah.
I wish right now.
The only thing I'm mad about that is the animation style. I wish they were still doing like the drop back anime style instead of like the refined version. That's my little critique. And then the other one I'm watching is Classroom of the Elite, which is
sounds like you need to watch that one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And just a little bit of that. It's like a classroom. You're following one guy and then following around the class, but they start off with the lowest ranked class and they're trying to compete to get to higher classes. 4 sets of class A, B, C, D, and it's just a kind of once again like a like Death Note. It's more of a psychological and preparing for what you're interacting with other classmates, and I recommend it. It's the end of first season 1 is weird when they're on the boat, but aside from that, good show.
I'm halfway through season 3 of it, loving it.
Yeah, it's good.
I powered through the first 2 seasons, and I kind of fell off for the 3rd season, which is funny because that's when things like finally change. But yeah, I like it.
Yeah, just elaborating a little more on the concept is that these children are going to a high school where like they only graduate maybe like 20% or something, but they all end up in like high-paying executive roles. So they're kind of learning the trades of, how life is going to be by having to negotiate and partner and break contracts and make deals to get as far ahead as possible.
Yeah, because there's a point system. You get points every time your class does well on tests, or you can trade points internally, and yeah,
use points to buy things at the store.
It's literally a class system, like in terms of how you're treated. Yeah. Like if you're a class D, you are literally the lowest class and get treated like shit.
You scum of the earth.
Yeah, you get looked down on, all that stuff. Tawan.
I can go next, yeah. Should I recommend? I think I would recommend Steins Gate. It is also a good psychological show. It's a very slow start and kind of a confusing concept, but it really embodies that time warp mentality kind of concept. So there's a scientist. He seems honestly like a mad scientist, and he starts going through a time loop. So something crashes into a building, and he kind of keeps reliving that day, and it doesn't really make sense until you get maybe like 4 or 5 episodes into the show. And then the characters start to have a little more personality, but you're finding out that like, hey, there's something really going on, and kind of like a conspiracy theory kind of show. And it really plays out really well. And I think it has an unexpected twist at the end of the first season. I'm still going through the second season. I just found out that I think it's gotten taken off of all the streaming services. So I got to find out somewhere to watch it. Might just have to buy it because I really want to finish it. But the first season came out in 2011, and the second season was like 2018. So there's plenty of content out there. So I think it's done. But yeah, definitely a mind bender, and some unexpected twists and turns.
Very much. It's definitely a butterfly effect kind of thing. Each person too, and then it took me like 7 episodes of like, okay, I now understand what's going on.
Yeah, it takes a while because you're just like, what is going on? Because it seems like you go through the first episode and you're like, okay, this happened. And then you go through the second episode and you're like, wait, didn't we just watch that? And then you go through the third episode and you're like, wait, we watched that, but it was a little different. And like, something's not adding up here. So it gradually builds up. And then he finds out a way to change things and kind of figures out what's going on to a degree, but not. And
he's still quirky too. It's not like he's like, oh, I figured it out.
He's super quirky. He's definitely someone that you'd be like, you're crazy. If he like walked up to you on the street, you'd be like, dude, what are you talking about? It's like if someone walked up to you and told you that, hey, COVID's going to happen in 2020, and you'd be like, okay.
Whatever that means. All right.
Yeah. And then he's like, the world's ending. COVID-19 in 2020.
Is this Chicken Little all over again?
Yeah. And then you're like, wait, he was right. And then, but he didn't explain anything. And then also like, yeah, but I definitely recommend Steins Gate.
That's a banger opening too.
Yeah. I just thought of a second one. It's okay.
Is it one you're currently watching?
No, it's not when I watched way in the past, but it's just a fantastic show. Freyrin is something I'm currently watching or currently watch.
Yeah, talk about Freyrin. That's the shit right there. Yeah,
it was really good. That one was also one that I was like, I don't see what the hype is about after like the first 3 or 4 episodes, and then you get to like episode 10, and then you're like, okay.
It's almost a soothing kind of show. That's why it's weird.
Yeah, it's a feel good show.
It is.
But also you get that action fix too at the unexpected times where you're like, okay, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting to just chill here, but okay, I like it. I like
for those of you who don't know what Freyrin is, it starts out, there is a group of adventurers. There are 4. One is a human. Sorry, 2 are humans. One is a dwarf.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other, Freyrin, she is an elf.
Elf mage.
So
Elf mage, yep.
There's one human's a hero. They just call him
hero. One's a healer, yep.
And yep.
Or a cleric.
Cleric. And
likely.
then the dwarf is a warrior. So
yeah.
He has a battle axe.
Exactly, Paulo. Freyrin is goated. And it's great because like it starts out and it kind of gives you the journey that they were taking. And then it's different because it's in the perspective of the elf, and like you know how most things that we see that have these groups, it's always in this perspective of human, so time is passing like human time passes, but with this one it's in the perspective of Freyrin. So they go on the adventure, they save the world. We don't even really get to see that. We just know they saved the world, but then it goes like post saving of the world, how things happen for Freyrin. She like didn't care about anything, she didn't care about anyone, she didn't like really have attachments because she ages so differently than everyone else that there was really no need to, right? Like she was always on her own. Outside of the strongest mage in history, that was her teacher.
Her teacher or teacher's teacher?
If
Oh.
thinking, if well,
Depend-
I'm talking about the human, not the elf.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, like it really is. So you see everything from her, right? She's like, the group breaks up, and she's like, "But I promise, I'll come visit you guys." And she goes off to do her thing. Her thing is collecting books. So she goes to go collect some books, like some they're not called some grimoires, and she finally like returns back to go see friends. She's like, "Oh, I guess it's been long enough. I'll go visit them." Because to her, it feels like it's maybe been a few years. Well, she goes back to visit them, and 60 years have passed. Like,
Yeah,
and
her
the humans
concept
are like,
of time is
Right.
nothing compared to her. A year to her is like a decade for humans.
right. So like she looks the same. Nothing's happened. Nothing's changed. But like the hero, he's on his deathbed. He was pretty much like saving himself before dying to see her one more time. Then she goes to like when that happens, she kind of realizes the difference in time and that like maybe she did take longer than she should have, and she maybe actually did have connections with these people. And so she goes to visit the other human who was the cleric, and he's also, starting to pass, and he kind of tricks her into taking care of or raising and teaching another mage that he found who was an orphan, and then also ends up having to run into a warrior candidate from the that was being trained by the dwarf. So like she ends up kind of replacing her old party with new people and having more of the human emotion that she didn't have because she didn't need it as an elf. But it's pretty cool. And then like there's this whole like magic tournament later on, which is really cool to see a bunch of different magic users. And just like how crazy OP some of the magic can be, like how different some of the magic is, right, compared to other animes or manga that maybe we've seen or watched. Like it's not your typical elemental type based magics. You got like binding magic based off of like eyes, all kind of really cool stuff. I don't want to give too many abilities, but like pretty cool things that people ended up doing. And yeah, Frieren is top tier anime. And then I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Shangri-La Frontier.
I haven't.
It's on Crunchyroll, and I think it's on Netflix. I think it's definitely on Crunchyroll. It funny enough, I heard about it. Well, Kara and I heard about it on a different podcast we were listening to, and it's another like video game-esque anime, but there's a guy. Look, Apollo, we on it. There's a guy. He's what they call trash gamers. He loves playing video games that are rated as trash type video games. Like no one wants to play it. Its graphics are shit. They're all bugged out to crap. Like it's just awful. Like only people who hate themselves essentially play these types of games. And he's one of like the top tier best players of these types of trash video games. But then this really, really cool S-rated game called Shangri-La Frontier comes out. Everyone's talking about it. It's all hyped up. And the video game cleric tells him like, hey, I know you play trash games a lot. He finally beat one that was no one had ever beat. And then they're like, hey, I think you would like this. It's not a trash game. It's an actual good video game. I think you should play it. And so he buys it. He puts on his little headgear. He goes into the world. He builds out his character. Again, people do the weirdest things with their character. He didn't do defense. He has no defense. He has like all agility and offense, like in luck. No defense. So like
exactly how I play Pokemon.
like one hit would kill this man. No matter who would hit him. A bunny rabbit could punch this dude and he's dead. Like that's how like did nothing for defense. But all luck, all agility, all attack. And he goes into the game and he realizes that like this really is an S-rate game. Like the way his character moves just feels so much cleaner. The way he can crit attack and the way he can read the boss monsters like battle patterns, because as you guys know, in actual video games the patterns are fairly similar. Like it stays pretty consistent. So when he's playing trash video games, and so like it's not consistent, it's all bugged to crap. So now when he goes into a real game where it's all consistent, he's like, oh, this is easy as shit to read. Like, it's the same thing. So it's pretty great. Like, I mean, he's just going in and, I mean, like, again, quickly leveling up, fighting on within his first day, there's like 12, I forgot what they tell them. I think they call them 12 colossi, or there's 12 like big bads in this video game. I don't want to say bad, they're not really bad, but just big bosses in this video game. And within like his first day, he runs into one, fights one, and I mean, it's not really a spoiler because you wouldn't expect him to. He doesn't beat it, but he gets cursed, and the curse just completely changes the trajectory of what he can do in this game, and it's fantastic. I mean, it's another great one. Season 1 has ended. I don't think there's a season 2 out yet, so I'm gonna have to try to find it, like read it somewhere. But again, another great one, and it's hilarious because his outfit, when he got cursed, he couldn't put anything on, like his body where the curse marks are. So all he has on is shorts because his like groin area didn't get cursed, and then he started it off with the face mask, and that's what he had. Like, he chose out of everything, he chose a bird mask as his like helmet face mask. And so he's stuck with a bird. You may have seen it, Swan. Now you think about it. It's a blue bird mask. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
I was gonna say, I've seen the cover of it. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. I was like, why does that guy have a bird face?
Yeah.
But okay.
It's so fucking stupid. It hit, like, the bird mask kills me, but it's great. It's another pretty good one. So yeah. Strangle Frontier. SLF as they call it.
Solid. I'm gonna have to check it out now. After I get caught up on Tower of God.
I would just look up a picture of it, and that's
You look it up.
yeah. I'm just look up an image at least.
Sun Rocky with the weirdest face.
What made you click on that to watch it?
I told you, somebody on the podcast talked about it, and we heard it, and we were like, "Oh, this seems interesting." And then I was like, "Cool, we watch." And of course, like, it is a little slow to start, which I mean most anime are these days, especially all of these like go into a video game or go into reincarnated into whatever. Like, they all start slow. So like Kara didn't care. She needed to be quick. But I was like, fuck it. I was hooked. Same with Faden. She didn't like it, and I was like, man, this is a goated anime, but whatever.
Brandon's it's a slow one. So.
I was like, even Demon Slayer was slow to start off first until, because I remember when you recommended Demon Slayer.
No, I mean, he was like running.
Because he was like, get to about episode 8 when you actually see the spider dude, and it's like after you see the spider, that's when it gets good.
When they fight Rui. Yeah. Oh, great question. All right, so this is going to be more so for actually I think both of y'all, not necessarily me, but Paula asked if we are if we like rom-com anime.
Yeah. There's a movie that's a rom-com. Your Name. It is one of my favorite anime movies.
I guess it is a rom-com technically, yeah, because of the switching bodies. It is kind of funny when they
like these two high schoolers fall in love with each other, but they have never met. They actually end up switching bodies, like while they sleep, and then they go through the day as that other person. So they end up journaling and end up like kind of falling for each other like that way.
And communicating that way, and with a cool ending.
But what do they recommend?
No, just asking. And you said Your Name, and he's like, yeah, Your Name is goated. Is Gintama a rom-com? I'm kidding.
Gintama is anything you want it to be.
It is everything. What was it? Kageyama Love is War. That one's a good one. It's just like two high schoolers. Pretty much they're like the president and vice president. They're just like trying to take over each other with power. But they're also both like madly in love with each other, but they don't want to admit it to. They're trying to get the other person to admit that they like the other person first.
What's that other one that we watched, Matt? There's 2 seasons. It's supposed to be really sad.
Oh no, well, that's not rom-com.
Clannad, yeah.
Clannad. I mean, that's not rom-com.
Kind of is.
It's just slice of life and sad.
Yeah, like Your Lie in April, and that's just sad. There's no comedy in that. It's just fucking sad. Okay, so Apollo mentioned, he said he's been reading The Doll rom-com where this guy makes clothes for this girl's cosplay. Oh, is that
Dress Me My Darling or something like that?
Yeah, My Dress Up Darling. Something like that. Yeah, I haven't seen any of that, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I think I've seen a clip from it.
And then he said, "Have you guys seen Snafu?"
I have not seen Snafu. Never even heard of it. But I'll check it out.
Yeah, I think it's my dress up.
My Dress Up.
Yeah,
Darling.
My Dress Up Darling. Yeah, I've never seen clips about that. I've never watched it because I was like, I'm hard pass. Because every little clip they show online, she's like half naked, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure this girl's 14. Hard pass. All right, so we have time. I think I want to talk really quickly about what Tawan shared with us the other day. We're gonna go. Well, actually,
we can just that'll be an episode in itself. Or are you talking about like the One
Piece?
You're talking about the Usopp? What are you talking about?
I was like, give me another little more time with the Usopp one. I haven't really read through it. I just saw the pictures.
My Youth Romantic Academy is wrong. It's the actual title. Is
I think that should be our next episode, though.
Actually, isn't Ohran a host club technically a rom-com?
Not really, because he's not like
more
for any, or she's not like, I don't think romantically interested in just one, like in one of them. They're just kind of there. There's like what, 5 or 6 guys that run a host club, and then she just looks like a boy, and she has to work there to like work off her debt because she broke this expensive vase or vase, whatever you want to call it. I don't see it as a rom-com. It's just kind of like a comedy.
It's just been a while since 2012. I couldn't remember if there were like any romantic relationships in that show or not.
Yeah, I don't think it was really romantic. At least not from my perspective.
Perfect. Actually, yeah, I think we can save the Usopp one then. I haven't read it either.
Yeah, so.
But yeah, I think this could be. I think it'll probably be like a 20-ish minute conversation, so it could be definitely another episode.
Yeah, it could be when like on an off week when they're on break for a week for the One Piece chapter.
Oh, like next week?
Yeah. Next week's on break.
Next week's on break? Yeah, we can do it next week then.
Well, we got maybe. We'll see. I start work back this week, so we'll see.
Okay. Then I guess let's try to finish out with a conversation around the mangas that have released. So I don't know if I want to speak on this. I mean, this is a democracy, so you guys tell me. But I know we have our big 3. We have One Piece, JJK, My Hero. My Hero's done. Finally ended. So we can talk about that.
Right behind.
One Piece, that's just our shit. We can talk about One Piece all the time. JJK is right behind in finishing. I don't know.
Sad. I haven't read this week's chapter.
How much I want to talk about JJK right now. That's my only thing.
If anything, it would be My Hero would probably be the best one to talk about, because we can talk for an hour about One Piece, like without even trying.
We can. Yeah. What is your guys' reaction of the ending of My Hero?
I liked it. I thought it did well. It let Deku still be a hero, i.e. like a Batman type hero. I liked it.
I feel like Matt's fully against. I'm going to go first because I'm not fully against. I'm in the middle. I was talking to a friend about this yesterday. Actually, I was out in Cary doing that Lazy Days festival, and somebody brought this up. How like they hate what they see online about it. I don't hate it. I don't love it. Because remember, the whole purpose was like, this is the story of how I became the greatest hero. But then, you became the greatest hero for 45 seconds? So for that part kind of kills me, because I mean, like, one, you were never the number one hero, because you never got voted number one because you didn't get to even be a hero because you lost your powers.
Well,
Spoiler.
question: was it Deku saying that he became the greatest hero?
Yes,
First-
he's the
first,
one
like, the
telling the
first-
story. That's how it
Literally the first
starts.
page.
I didn't know if it was from his perspective.
Yeah,
I was
that's
thinking
what
it was
the
from
whole.
like
This is
how
yeah.
Deku became the greatest hero.
This is the story
It's
of
like
how I became the
number
world's
one.
greatest hero.
Mhm.
Yeah, like that's the whole purpose of this whole thing. It's him telling the entire story. You're like,
I mean, he
okay.
technically wasn't. I mean, he wasn't voted number one, but he did stop All for One, and
He murdered.
he was able to.
Damn, Matt.
He was able to use One for All's, like all of the One for All abilities. So he was the greatest hero, and he like single-handedly was like taking care of the world after all these heroes were quitting.
He wasn't single-handedly doing shots. He may have taken when everyone escaped from Tartarus, he definitely helped take care of some of the big bads. But he was getting assisted by All Might that entire time.
Yeah,
And we got to remember, our support heroes are also important, and All Might became a support hero. So he was getting supported from All Might and from Hawks the entire time until he was like, I'm angry now. I don't want to talk to y'all no more. And then the moment that happened, the entire Class 1A showed up. So, like...
I mean, he didn't want to endanger them.
All right. No.
We all knew the reason that he didn't want to talk to them. It wasn't that he was mad at
He
him.
hit his emo
space. He went the Batman route. It's like, I can only work alone. It's only me. I will take the responsibility. He's like, no, we're here for you, bud. We're here for you, bud.
The ending, like, I like that he became a teacher. Being a teacher made 100% sense for him, right? Everything he's done, every episode, every time they're in class, he's writing down what everybody can do. He's thinking of ways that can make that better. He's just fully keeping track of people's abilities, perks. Fantastic. Teacher, 100%. Makes total sense for Deku. The whole power thing, not really getting it anymore. I didn't like that. And then, I mean, this show was never about love interest, so it really didn't matter. But it was kind of weird that I was gonna say her name wrong, but Ura Gravity, whatever her actual name is, but she was like all about him. But I can't distract him, so I don't want to tell him how I feel because I can't distract him right now that all these things are happening in the world. My boy loses his powers, and she's like, so actually, I don't even know if I like you like that.
I kind of changed my mind. I don't even
know if I know you. Like, I mean, I appreciate you coming to make me feel better about Toga, but like, I'm gonna go this way.
I don't know. I think that speaks to like young infatuation, and that like she really had to go through something to see that like it was just really just kind of an obsession and not necessarily love that she thought it was. Because
there's no love like Toga's love.
I mean, other than saving someone, I mean, yeah, she had a different kind of love, and that like helped her understand that hey, love isn't just being obsessed with this person that saved you one time or helped you out one time, which a lot of times in anime and shows and just life, that's how it kind of ends up. So it was like a growth for her. So I like that.
Nah, I think she just depressed.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that ending because it's like you said before. It's about how he became the number one hero, and like even the last page is like it's not how I became number one hero. It's how we became the number one heroes. And I don't know, too cliche. But once again, I think for any storytelling, the hardest part is the ending. Just how do you wrap up a whole series that's been going on for 430 chapters into like all the action and pull heartstrings and everything, reading week to week, and then it's like, okay, and now we're done.
It kind of started how it finished, right? Like a kid who, I guess he becomes an adult because like 4 or 8 years later, whatever it was.
Yes.
But an adult who
Becky should have pulled one of his hair and said, "Eat this."
Has no abilities and is just smart, and that's it. Weak and fragile, and he looked like he went back to being weak and fragile. So, I mean, I guess All for One One for All gave him some of the strength as well. But yeah, it really was just unfortunate what happened to him.
Hey, you don't use those muscles, you lose them.
Yeah, but Deku being a teacher, definitely. Well, I like that.
I will say, I don't know if you guys remember the picture. I'll see if I can find it. But the dude, the guy from Class 1B that upgraded to Class 1A, who had the control power, like if you reply to him when he speaks to you, he controls you. The mind control dude.
Mm-hmm.
His costume, his hero outfit, phenomenal.
Gotta look at it. Do you remember his name?
Sure don't.
Sure. Oh, is it the Eraserhead thing?
No.
No, that was when he was fighting in the final battle.
He does have an eraser head.
Yeah, remember he learned how to use like his combat with Eraserhead's ropes
Whips.
or
rope. Yeah.
Yeah. Shinsho is his name.
Yeah, that is a pretty cool outfit. It's like a ninja.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh. JV's up. So we have to.
Don't matter. Anyway, yeah, that's what I thought. Like him looking like that was pretty dope. You thought that powers were dope. Yeah, that power. I mean, everyone's got great quirks. A lot of people have great quirks.
No.
Yeah.
Look at that timing.
Yeah. Gentlemen, it was great to be back.
It is. As always.
No, yeah, guys, I definitely appreciate having the time to get back to it. Twan, let us know about next week. I mean, we'll talk about this offline because I know we said we want to get back to an every other week case or cadence, but maybe next week could work if we want to talk about the Usopp stuff or the week after. I'm fine either way. But we'll talk offline. Thanks again, guys, for coming and hanging out. This was a great return episode.
As always, stay hungry.
Yep. Stay hungry. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe.
Yes. Until next time.
Until next time, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.